I've heard about a guy, I don't know if it's true. I don't know the guy, but I heard about a guy who was doing kind of a similar thing where you would have like a 1 pip stop and he stopped out all the time. And then he would occasionally like a 500 pip win where he'd make 500 R or whatever. Hey, it's Walter here, and you're at the Think Profit podcast, where we're going to help you develop a rock-solid trading confidence and avoid the potentially endless cycle of system switching. Right, Hugh?
That's right. We're going to help you develop a wealth mindset, develop a trading strategy that fits your core personality, and help you overcome the obstacles that stop over 90% of traders.
All right, Hugh, sounds good. You ready to go?
Yeah, let's do this. All right, Walter, I know you have some experience talking to Darren with this. I want to talk about random entries. What are your thoughts on the psychology behind random entries, just entering anywhere in the market, putting in a stop loss or whatever, and a take profit and just letting it rip?
Okay, so got two main thoughts. So my first thought is that this is an exercise I encourage people to do, like people listening to this or watching this podcast. I would say try it out because it's a really good way to highlight the importance of your exit rules, which a lot of people don't focus on, number one. Number two, that's really important. It's a great lesson to do that. And the other thing is, it's interesting that like you would think really sort of data-driven, logical traders who are like programmers and have that sort of background. It's interesting to me that many of them won't apply a strategy if it doesn't make sense. So this kind of speaks to what you're saying. Like there's software out there that you can get. You feed all your data into it, and it will come out with a strategy that will say, hey, every day at 3:15 p.m., you need to buy the euro against the dollar or something like that. You know, some sort of, data-driven rule. And a lot of traders, they'll go, why? That doesn't make sense. And they won't trade it, even though the data is looking at them in the face and it says, this is a profitable strategy. You know what I mean? So I think that like you kind of have to decide as a trader, are you going to like be hands off and let the data tell you what to do? In this instance, what you're talking about is, what if you had a strategy where it was random entry and you just had a really kind of cool trailing exit that took advantage of the occasions when you were right? And so would you trade that? For most traders, the answer is no. And it's the same reason why a lot of traders want to be discretionary and want to have kind of have their hands dirty when they enter trades. And I'm just as guilty as anyone. So I think it kind of gets at the core, this idea of, why do you need to have a logical entry rules? It kind of gets at the core of what you believe as a trader. Is it that you are making the trade, like you're making this happen? Or is it that there's just randomness in the market? Occasionally these things pop up, and that's why the buying the euro at 3:15 every day sort of thing works. You know what I mean?
Hey there, I hope you're finding this episode useful. I just wanted to let you know that Walter and I give away something valuable every month that helps traders improve their skills. You can enter to win by simply leaving an iTunes review and leaving a comment on our YouTube videos. At the end of each month, we'll look at the comments and reviews from the month, and we'll pick a winner at random. Each comment and each review counts for one entry during the month that it's submitted. So if you're interested in that, be sure to enter after this podcast is over. All right, back to the episode.
So it really is up to you. And most traders can't do that. Most traders won't be able to take random entries. It's a very unusual thing that you'll run into somebody that can do that. I've met a few, that are like usually like programmer types, and they're like, yeah, this is what it shows, this is what we find, and this is what I'm going to do. And so you can do it. You can definitely do it. I mean, all the tools are there now. This wasn't the case when I started doing neural networks in like 2004, 2005. I was using neural network software that wasn't trading related really. And so it was kind of clunky, but now today, like there's all these really cool softwares that you guys can use. Maybe I'll put some links in the show notes for people interested, and it literally will spit out a strategy and say, well, based on your data, this would work. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be profitable in the future or whatever. That's like the first step for a lot of these people who want to use machine learning and these sort of advanced, in vogue algorithms that, are kind of taking over the world. Yeah.
No, that's interesting. You mentioned that because I coded up a simple EA. It was just taking a 20 pip stop loss and a 200 pip take profit. And I just coded up one side, just say buy all the time or sell all the time. The system was profitable. I mean, it was like marginal, but you just let it rip and it made money. And I never went back to it because like you said, I don't know if I could really get my head around trading that with real money, but maybe at some point I'll revisit it because just a simple idea like that, I'm sure could be optimized a little bit more.
Yeah. Like I can see the wheels turning in people's heads who are listening to you say that about your EA. Like, well, what if I used, like moving averages or MACD to kind of give me a direction, and then I would just turn it on, like I can see people definitely doing that. Yeah. And it makes sense. I've heard about a guy, I don't know if it's true. I don't know the guy, but I heard about a guy who was doing kind of a similar thing where you would have like a 1 pip stop and he stopped out all the time. And then he would occasionally like a 500 pip win where he'd make 500 R or whatever. Yeah, I don't know if that's true. I do know there is a guy though that trades 20-1 and he has an 8% win rate. Matthew in London. And so that's kind of cool that there are people doing it, I think. And he said what he was saying was that I think there's logic behind it. I don't think it's random entry. He didn't really tell me. It was interesting. He was saying he thought he had to have it automated because he wouldn't, like psychologically, he wouldn't be able to take 92% losses, like keep entering.
I think that was the biggest issue for me. Like there were so many losses in a row. And like in live trading, I don't know if I could handle that. But
of course.
Yeah, if you automate it, might be all right.
Yeah, exactly. Cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Walter.
See ya.
All information in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not trading or investment advice.